Internet is a vast ocean of connected devices of all kind, all type of people use these devices, and there are like normal people, good citizens, good net citizens, but then there are some malicious actors using these devices across the planet to take certain advantage of exploited systems or the weakest controls on different systems. What you see on this live graph provided by Kaspersky. So this is the live attack map on the screen, live cyber attacks happening across the world, which is captured by Kaspersky. You see that at this moment, the most attacked country is Canada. Few minutes before it was Sweden. And the thing is, there are lots and lots of issues which are happening between the software to hardware to connected devices, whether it's a connected car, it could be a smart TV, anything which is connected to internet can be attacked. So let's start with today's show with the distinction between the attackers and the protectors. Okay, so let's stop the sharing and good morning, your friend Naveen. Again, on this show, we are second episode of this show named Code Rad, where we will talk about everything cybersecurity. And again, a disclaimer: everything is being shared on this channel is only for education purpose, so that you can protect your systems better, the companies you work for, their systems better, and your personal devices. You can keep your family and friends safe with this knowledge. No part of this knowledge should be used or consumed in any way to harm anything else which is not yours. So let's kickstart. Get to know. So you just saw the map of the cyber attacks which are happening live. There are different service providers who share these maps with you, so that you can see the the intensity of cyber threats across the planet. Now, why do we only talk about cybersecurity? Because it's a very hot topic, and security is basically the birthright, like everyone's birthright. So everyone should be remain secure and not exploitable, and secure in many sense. So similarly is our data. Our data, the information which is like meaningful data, is meant to be remain secured. But what happens, there are instances when we lose control on the data. And when we lose this control, it could be like my oversightedness, it could be that my unawareness, it could be that someone knows better than me that how to use the system. It could be your phone, it could be any application on the phone, it could be your laptop, it could be your access to the corporate systems, it could be anything. So it anything can be exploited. So awareness is needed. And let's first of all learn that how many type of attacks like, so normal attacks are there. So the first and the foremost, which is like most dangerous to the normal citizens, it's like phishing attack. So there are lots of variants of the phishing attack now. So if so what is phishing? Phishing sends someone sends you malicious information in a sort of internet link, SMS, voice call, image, anything. So there are different variants, and you fall prey to them. You click them, you consume them, or they access your system in a way that they want to. So this is like in a very raw summary what happens. Uh, this could deploy malware on the system, which will stay longer. They can record your activities on your devices. And as I say again and again, are you aware that our mobile phones are the least protected devices we use? On our laptop, they come with inbuilt firewall. They come with the inbuilt antivirus, or you can deploy EDRs. If you use corporate devices, they are literally secured. But our personal mobile phone, we never think about the security of that. We never think about installing any antivirus or EDR on that, or any firewall on that, because we need impromptu access, and we download and use applications without any verification. We use banking applications, we get SMS, we use login, MFAs, whatnot. So that is the least protected device. But even if it is least protected, it is my device. No one has right to access it without my permission. So there is a category of we call it actors. So there is a category of people who know technology to use it in for malicious purpose. They access the systems without authorization. They access the systems without authentication. They access the system by using different flaws in the system. And when we talk about system, it there must be some software running on it, because software is the key to have all the bugs on the planet. So if it is a software, it is injectable, corruptible, it can have bugs, it can be exploited. So that's, I think, the basic of cybersecurity. Why people break into other systems? Because it's breakable. Okay, so it's simple binary answer, because it's breakable. Now, but do they have permission to do that? That is the topic of today's episode. So if someone, for example, you have, let's say you are hosting some web application, you are running a small business, or even if you are working in a corporate, you have a data center, you have your own applications within your data center. Now someone tries to access this web application. You say, okay, it is like public application, anyone can use it. uh, so they get the home page, and if they try the user ID which is not given to them, any user ID, then that means they are not authorized to use that application, because they are not given the access. So first thing is the authorization. Are they authorized to log in? No. Second thing is they use some stolen credentials. How do they steal it? We will talk about in some other episode. But stolen identity, if it is they are used stolen credentials, that means they are even stealing something, like stealing the credential and using it. So step by step they start breaking the laws. Then they access the information, which is, again, they access my salary slip within the system. So again, it breaks further several laws. then they update something in the database, they further break the laws. They manipulated the information in that sense. And then they infiltrate in the system, and then they, spread across the networks. So that means they are like, uh, they are just not a low level, like, one time attackers. They have malicious intent to stay there, learn more about my network and the data flowing, and then steal the data as much as they can, or plant the ransomware, plant some other bugs. So there could be number of things. Now, why I'm telling you this, that this category of people, we call them hackers. Now, if you look at some definition of hacking, hacking means, uh, you know breaking something in non-conventional way, or finding new ways to interact with the system, which is not told or shared. So basically that is hacking. So hacking is good, but this hacking activity is related to crime. You are breaking the laws, you are accessing systems unauthorized manner. So this means this is unlawful activity and you are a criminal if you do that. So this hacking is called, it's a technique used by cyber criminals. So we call them cyber criminals or hackers. Just in a nutshell, they call hackers. Now, they are bad. They do things, but what is the motivation? So motivation could be money. Motivation could be taking a business down. Motivation could be, they could be ex-employee of the companies, which are like most of the cases. So they have some grudge about, uh, from some with some people, or uh, they could be associated, they could be a criminal gang. They are getting paid for it to do certain activities, so that anyone else can take advantage of the situation. uh, it could also become, they take one large enterprise down, it could hit the economy of the whole country. So for example, wheat production. So someone says that, or publishes some information, or the information for, like India and some other countries, they produce wheat, they are like big exporters of the wheat. So when wheat flour goes out, or wheat goes out, so they are goes under some standard checks. So if some attacker hacks the system in the standardization agency and changes these parameters, and shows that this wheat is of inferior quality, or has some, some chemicals or something, what will happen? Media is, just blows out of proportion, and then lots of active citizens on internet, Twitter, LinkedIn, what's not, and then the whole country, the whole export gets hit within few hours of that day. So this is the damage these cyber criminals can. I just gave you one example. Okay. Now, how to stop them? So to stop a thief, a security personnel has to think from the mind of a thief. So to stop them, we need right set of people who had the same set of skills, or maybe better than them, but they have a very ethical way of doing it. They do it for protecting their systems. So those were cyber criminals, and these hackers are called ethical hackers. So when we interviewed lots of university guys here, like close to 1,000, and we gave a poll what exactly they want to learn in cybersecurity. 70% of them said they want to become ethical hacker. Wow. Well, So they learned about ethical hacking, through media, different sort of YouTube channels and whatnot. But no one tells them ethical hacking is good, but no one tell them that what this ethical hacker will do rest of the time. He will not be hacking systems all the time. There are some other, if you are working as a corporate employee, you have some other responsibilities to perform as well. So that is where people uh, do not inspect what exactly they are picking as a career. Ethical hacker uh, is a term, but you become a penetration tester. You become a cybersecurity researcher who are trying to find the weaknesses. Or even though you know the weaknesses, like you know the vulnerabilities in the system, and in the corporates, what happened, you cannot fix the vulnerabilities with just one button. It is not one single system. There are system owners. The system is working for some process, working for some customer, working for some critical process flow. So you cannot just go and change it, or cannot go just hack it. No. So how do you do that? There is a process, there is a set scope. So this is like all the knowledge which is needed for these guys to do, to learn about it. Now, let's talk about the main differences between when we say one is a cyber criminal or other is a ethical hacker. So cyber criminals do not pay attention to the law. They just find a weakness, they exploit it, and they ethical hackers do find the weakness, but they find the weakness within the scope. So if company says, this is my application, your scope of penetration testing is just the login procedure of this. So the responsibility of ethical hacker or the pen tester is just to find the weakness within that set scope, not anything else. But if they say, okay, this is the application, do a VPT, do a penetration testing, so they can exploit the application by all possible means, starting from the hardware, operating system, applications, code dependencies, all the libraries being used, access to the system, network, what other services are running, whatnot. So they will do all possible attacks. So, the first major difference is between the following no law, but following the law. You are approved person to test that system. Okay, they might be using the same set of tools, but the right hand guy, like the ethical hacker, is the good guy. Then, what is the motivation? So as I said, cyber criminal can have different set of motivations, lots of motivations: money, reputation, business loss to someone, uh, national security, or something. The good ethical hackers have motivation to secure the system, to find the vulnerability so that it can be remediated immediately. And as I said, in corporate, things move very slowly. You cannot even patch the system immediately if you have some critical patch available, because you don't have just one system to patch. And if this patch gets released, say by midnight, 2 a.m., then and you are running very thin on the team size in the office, you don't have support team to do the patching. They will come next morning. So what will you do? So there are some processes, but this is the life situations I am giving you, food for thought. So as a if you are as a new entrant into the cybersecurity field, you want to make a career into that, you should go through our episodes. You should contact us. We are bringing a very holistic cybersecurity professional training near to you. And So reach out to your C Sharp TV local ambassador or MVP or the direct C Sharp TV organizers. But the thing is, this knowledge is very much needed. You cannot just do certain or pick a career blindly. You should think about all the aspects. And cybersecurity is a very uh, hot career domain, niche career domain, and it is here to stay. In next few episodes, we'll talk about what are the other career options, which are like very evolving: AI, IoT, whatnot. So after the motivation, let's talk about the cyber criminals. What is their basic education? So they are often school dropouts, college dropouts. They just have one purpose: to practice one platform, practice one script all day long. But the normal pen testers in corporate, they have different duties they do. So they need to protect the system at all cost, and they need to break the system to sustain their livelihood or do whatever their gang says. So they both are focused on their goals. But the good guy should always win. Even if the good guy wins at 99 times and this guy wins at one time, there will be a breach. Then good guys need to make sure that even the system was broken, no damage should be done. So there are other aspects. How do you secure it? Even if the system is broken, the attacker is inside that. But how do you stop them from propagating to other systems? So this is what. And then I think there could be a breed of different type of attackers. So for example, uh, there are black hat hackers. So black hat basically are the cyber criminals, as I said. Then there are white hat hackers, which is ethical hacker or pen tester who is doing good guy. Then there could be gray hat hackers. So gray hat is like something which is in between. Sometimes they are black, sometimes they are white, but they are the shady characters. So but still there are agencies, there are people who use their services because at times, but they are not trustable. That's it. They get the job done, but they're not trustable. So I treat them as a criminal. So every gray, black, everything is criminal. Then there are new fresh entrants into cybersecurity crime field. We call them script kiddies. So they are unskilled and they just use pre-made tools and scripts to exploit normal things in the system. Whatever, like for example, there is a script to find X number of vulnerabilities in a web app. You run it, and it will give you the normal vulnerabilities. So we call them script kiddies. Then there are hacktivists. So hacktivists are like who have particular agenda to hack other systems. So these agenda holders, or they have some ideology, they work across the planet, they work on certain ideologies, and that is why they hack. Then there are state sponsored hackers. So uh, some countries, or maybe all countries, or maybe no country, have these specific hackers which are not related to government directly, but they carry out the operations for them. So this is what. And I'll tell you, I have given a session and written a book like uh, 20 15, 20 years back. It was like uh, the crime at the click of mouse. So what happens is, when you on computer, you commit a crime, you never get to know. You don't get a feel that you have committed a crime. So shoulder surfing, it's like watching others' password from, like our kids do at home. They know the Wi-Fi password, they know our phone password. So it's a crime. So the difference between the crime and being lawful is a very subtle difference at times, and we must be aware of the facts that when we become cyber criminal. So if I see, for example, someone accidentally sends me data in an email, okay, which is like salary data or something, and if I'm not intended to read it, I should delete it. I should notify them that you accidentally sent it to me, but it is not for me. So, for example, a few days back, my insurance agent who was chatting with me on the WhatsApp, she was supposed to send me some file, and she sent me the Excel file like all the sales she made during this month. And the file name was like uh, Jan sales, blah, 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 something. So I just said, was this supposed to be sent to me? She said, no. I said, then why did you send it? So she said, if you have downloaded, please delete it. I said, I didn't. So that's the legal way of doing it. That's the good guy in you, which should always win. And the cyber criminals, on the other hand, it's like different ball game altogether. So if you are a learner, if you are a fresh graduate, if you are working and you want to switch to the cybersecurity, ethical hacking is a very, very good field, good place to be. But what this whole ethical hacking means, you need to know compliances, you need to know professional skills, you need to know how to report, you need to know how to speak your findings to CXOs. So then you should join our training, which we are bringing very soon. I think that's it. And if you have anyone has some question, most welcome. I'm looking at the comments. Thanks, Jitesh. So even if you have questions later on, like I know that this is odd time for certain countries, so if you are watching from them and you watch later, you can always ping me, and you can send your questions, queries to us, and we would be able to happy to answer that or cover them in the next episode. And so that's all for the day. I think you now understood what is the main difference between a cyber criminal or being ethical hacker. And for being an ethical hacker, you need a good mentor, good coach to tell you the what are the different aspects of it. And we are very good at it, I promise you. And then, uh, so just stay tuned. We are launching our this training pretty soon. Thank you. Have a nice weekend and see you next Saturday.